What's up, everybody? This is Bryson Fowler on Boss Talks on the Rooftop, Season 8. And we have the honor, the distinct pleasure of being in one of the biggest upcoming aviation hangars and companies out there in the market, Go Aviation. And I got the honor of having my friend, Mr. Captain Jason Yardley. How you doing, brother?
Good, man. How are you? Thanks.
I'm good. What you think about the intro?
I think it was great.
You like it?
Yeah, I
You
did.
like it? Did I pop it enough for you?
Yep.
Because I mean,
Tons of love.
bruh. Because I mean, you have your events here.
Yep.
You have like you keep acquiring planes. I can't keep up with you,
Right.
and it's amazing that we're able to get you here today just to
Yeah.
sit down. And I appreciate you taking your rest time to sit here and kick it with me. So I mean,
Absolutely. I appreciate being here and being part of your boss talk. So
so before we get into your journey,
yeah.
we're gonna shout out to Belmachi Cigars sponsoring the cigars for this episode, and we're gonna pop up with Kingpin Luxury Torches to light the way. I have the cutter over there for me.
Here you go, sir.
And you know what? Shout out Chevalier Life for our new Boss Talks humidor. Man, I am thoroughly impressed by what he's done with the work that he's done. And look how we cropped that top off. Guys, you can pick up your Kingpin Luxury Torches at kingpinluxury.com or pick up your luxury cutters at kingpinluxury.com. Oh, let's get him his
Yes, sir.
torch. All right, so got our Belmachi cigars. Shout out to Belmachi Cigars for the cigars that are sponsoring this episode. And shout out Go Aviation with Captain Jason Yardley. Now, I'm going to start drinking. I don't know if you drink.
Yeah.
But, you know.
I'm ready.
Is that a glass with a propeller on it?
Yes, sir.
Do it again. Do it again. Hit that joint again. Yo. See, that's one of the perks of being the captain and doing business with Go Aviation. You get cool shit. Right? You get cool shit. You get cool stuff. Like, you get a little takeoff before your takeoff. I'm gonna spend mine.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway. So, Jason.
Yeah.
Captain.
Yes, sir.
El Capitan. What got you started on your journey of becoming a pilot and then owning your own hangar?
Man, that's a long story. You probably don't have enough time, but I've always wanted to be a pilot. But when I was younger, didn't have enough money. And then when I started making money, I never had enough time. So I found myself in a unique situation about 10 years ago where I was doing construction management and I was a part owner of that. And then we sold the company and I had a little bit of money. And I was able, God willing, to follow my dreams and become a pilot at age 40. So
Wow.
probably one of the hardest things I've ever done in my life, but I love it. And I'm happy every day and I'm just blessed.
Man, that is amazing. So you sold your construction company, which I have a roofing and construction business.
Yeah, I know.
And then you can't, you made that pivot and going into living out your dream and becoming a pilot.
Yeah.
So what was that process like for you?
Well, first you got to find the right school that meets, your learning style and your needs. So that was a struggle. And then I found a school and that was able to facilitate that. And it was accelerated school. So most people go to college, takes 4 years to get their aviation degrees and everything. I did mine in 11 months.
Oh, wow.
And I got 9 ratings in 11 months, which is pretty unheard of.
Man, you're on that expedited path.
Yeah, I wanted to get into the seat and get going as fast as possible.
Wow. So you're super laser focused,
Yep.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people don't understand, like, that's what it takes. Like, just a little bit of focus will take you a long way for a lifetime.
Yeah.
And so you were able to focus that energy and align that with what you dreamed, and now you're living your dream.
I am, yeah. Every day I live my dream, so it's pretty amazing. I'm truly blessed. So, um, It's been a long journey. It was been a hard journey, but it's one that's been rewarding and something I always wanted to do.
Yeah.
So it's it's been real good so far.
So are you originally from Dallas or where you from?
Now, originally I grew up in Utah, and through the construction industry, I've lived in Massachusetts, I've lived in Tennessee, California, all over the place. So I've traveled and lived all over the United States, and I've also traveled outside the United States doing a little bit of work too.
Yeah. What part of the construction facet was you? Because a lot of people don't understand. Like, there's
Yeah,
different parts.
yeah. So there's residential, there's commercial. I was part of what's called a civil
Mm.
construction. So that's mainly dirt, moving a lot of materials and like dams and levees and things like that.
So you had a lot of government
A
contracts.
lot of government contracts, yeah.
Man, that sounds like there's a lot of work
It
going behind
was,
that.
yeah.
And so you were able to grow that. What? How long did it take you to grow that?
Well, there was 13 of us that started that. Um, the first year we did like $10 million in revenue, and then by year five we were doing about 130 million a year
Oh
through
wow,
all of our contracts. So by the time I got out of it, 12 or 13 years later, I had 32 direct reports, and I was a corporate director at that
man.
point. So, but construction, you always work yourself out of a job. It can be a toxic environment. It's not really what I wanted to do in life.
Hmm.
It's just something I fell into, became good at, and I was able to provide for my family and be able to, hone my skills.
I mean, there's a lot of money in construction, so
Right.
I tell a lot of people that you have a degree. Sometimes degree you're going to get a job for somebody else. Where if you learn a trade, whether it's construction, there's so many different lines and facets of being in construction that you can
Yep.
fall into
Yep.
that will pave the way for your family.
Absolutely.
So I always tell people like, look, learn a trade, get your degree. Education is more powerful than anything,
Sure.
and that way you give yourself more options. So you learn a trade, you make six figures coming out of trade school, and then you
Yep.
can how you did it. You funded
Yeah.
your pilot, living your dream
Yeah.
life after
Hey,
after doing your trade.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I was able to take a lot of my business acumen and a lot of my experience from the business side of things in that world and transfer it over into aviation.
Yeah,
And so that's really helped me a lot doing what we're doing now.
yeah. So with you being the pilot and then because you said there was 13 of you that started the construction business,
Hmm.
so that lets me know that you know how to be a team player and how to build a team.
Yep.
So how did you end up building the team with Go Aviation?
Well, that's a pretty unique story. I mean, I had my own company that I was doing where I was flying people around and doing stuff. And then I met my business partner. He's not here today, but his name's Luke Thomas. And
Mm,
Luke was also doing something similar, but on a different scale. I was more smaller propeller planes, and he was more bigger jets and things like that. And a guy who owns what's called an FBO, which is a forward base of operation, where it's kind of like a aviation gas station.
yeah.
We were both friends with this guy. He's like 80 years old, and he's a legend in the pilot world.
Mm,
And he knew both of us, and he said, you guys really need to meet because you do similar things, and your personalities and the direction that you guys are going would really, make a difference in what aviation is doing here in Dallas.
wow.
So we did that about 6 months ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
And it seems like I've been rocking for a lot longer than that.
Yeah. No, it's only been about 6 months, and we've done more in 6 months than most people can do in like 4 or 5 years.
Man, that is
Yeah.
powerful. That's powerful, brother. So tell me more about Go Aviation.
Okay. Go Aviation has two partners. We have different pilots. We're more of a leasing company and a management company. So I'm a contract pilot, but we do airplane leasing to people, and we do management for owners and people who want to get into aviation.
Mm,
So what that looks like is if, let's say, somebody came off the street, they wanted to go down to Houston. We're more like Air Uber, and
mm,
so Air Uber is more like, hey, I need to get down to Houston. I've got an appointment at 8 a.m., but I need to be back in time for my kid's soccer game at like 3 o'clock.
mm,
Okay, so they take if it's just them or two people, they could take our smallest plane, which is pretty affordable.
mm,
It's about $600 an hour,
mm.
and you split that between two or three people. Now you're looking at like couple $100 per person to go
Right.
down there.
Down and
So
back trip.
right. So private aviation can be a lot more affordable than what you think it is.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So when you say like the air Uber, like my mind just went like, can I order an Uber Black? Like I can order a particular plane that I want.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
what does that look like?
So we have a website or an app once you sign up and you can go onto the app and that app tells you which plane you want to pick, which pilot you want to pick, where you want to go, and it's just like Uber.
Mm.
So you pick your destination and we confirm everything and get all your information all set up. And then the day of the flight or the time, you just show up here, the plane's all ready to go, and you hop in the plane and you just go. There's no TSA, there's no security, anything like that.
Oh, that's cold.
Right?
That's some cold work.
Right.
So do you go everywhere?
We can go everywhere. We do have
Like
big.
Uber
We
everywhere.
Yeah,
Yeah.
everywhere. I mean, we can go to Florida because we have jets, but
Mm-hmm.
mostly, our work is done primarily in Texas, Louisiana, Arkansas, Oklahoma, and surrounding states and areas.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
So a trip from here to Houston,
Yep.
about an hour.
It's 54 minutes, depending on where you want to go and depending on weather and winds and stuff like that. But it's about an hour, yeah.
Okay.
And that's our smallest plane. So if you want to go in a bigger plane with more people, a little faster, you can get up a little higher. So
Mm.
you can get there quick sooner.
Man, I can't wait to book mine.
Right.
I'm looking forward to it. We've been talking about Houston
Yep.
Cigar Week, so
Yep.
we got a little action that
Mm-hmm.
we finna rock out on. I can't wait to do it. So when you and Luke actually met,
Yeah.
um, how does your partnership work? Because like a lot of people don't know how to work partnerships. Like, do you like each other all the time?
Not all the time, but most of the time we do.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, first you have to make sure that your personalities and I'm more of a big picture guy and he's kind of like a go-getter and he's attention to detail kind of guy. So the partnership between us just actually fits pretty well.
Yeah.
We complement each other. So that's probably a big facet and big part of like being in business with somebody
Mm.
rather than just being in business with yourself is to make sure your personalities match up and your strengths and your weaknesses are complemented by each other.
Right. So what was that meeting like? Was it like an hour and it was like, oh, we're gonna do this shit, or is it like y'all actually like sat down and it was like, okay, let's really get to know each other.
It was more of like, hey, I've got work. I can't handle all of it. I need you to come over here and help me. And
Mm.
then through that process of us working together, we were like, why don't we just start our own thing?
Yeah.
And so I still have my other company, but I've kind of put that on the shelf, and now we put everything in 100% on this company together. So we're full on.
Well, they say if you want to go fast, go by yourself. If you want to go far, go together.
Exactly.
Man,
Yeah.
and I love that. I
Or
love
get a
that.
faster plane.
Nah, true.
Right.
So, what is the next step for you with Good Old Aviation?
Well, we're trying to dominate the market, and we've created strategic partnerships with bigger companies that want to break into the Dallas market.
Mm.
I can't really reveal on the podcast who that is yet because the contracts and everything and NDAs have not all been signed.
Right.
But we have a very large carrier that we're going to partner with
Mm.
probably in the next 2 weeks to a month. And they're going to bring big jets out where they haul 15 to 19 people on their jets.
Wow.
And we'll be the boots on the ground for them here
Mm.
in conjunction with our planes and our management and everything that we do over here. So our vision is to be the biggest private charter company in Dallas.
Wow.
Yeah.
And touch and agree for that, brother.
Thanks. I appreciate that.
So, what does the hiring process look like for whenever you hire your pilots?
Man, that's a first you have to be rated and typed to be in the plane through the FAA,
Mm.
and so there's a process. Plus, we want to make sure that we got the right personalities and the right people
Right.
coming in here.
Mm.
So we interview them to make sure they're the right personalities. Then we make sure that they can actually do the job, fly the planes, and then they have to go through a process of training to fly the way that we want and to be part of that because we just don't want people coming in, getting the time in the planes, and then going off to like Southwest Airlines or somewhere else like that.
Right.
We want people that's going to stick around for a minute,
Right. And kind of grow with the company.
grow with the company. Yeah.
And then two, being in the private sector, there's a level of discretion that you have to have, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
So it also tells into being able to trust the pilot with your clients and being able to trust you, which
Yeah.
is another factor in why you guys are growing so much because you're trustworthy
Yep.
and like you're a man of doing what you say you're going to do.
One of the things one of the things that made us successful is we're just transparent with everything. So look, here's the numbers, how much it costs, where there's no hidden fees, there's nothing there, everything's transparent.
Mm,
And a lot of charter companies will just give you a number, hey, it's going to cost you X amount of dollars to do this.
mm.
So
Okay, so we want to go and fly off to Orlando. We go online, go to www.goodoldAviation.com,
yep.
right? And then we select our destination, our dates, and then we pay online, or do you we contact? Does it go to like a submit for a quote, and then you contact us back?
It submits for a quote, you look at the quote, and then once you approve the quote, then we lock it in on the schedule. We get the pilots ready and we get everything else ready to go.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty seamless.
Yeah,
It's just like ordering an Uber.
yeah. And so that's why I wanted to get to like
Right.
what that process looks like for our viewers, how
Yeah.
easy and simplistic it can be,
Yeah.
and then also how affordable it can be for your everyday um, professional.
Yeah. I mean, we have people from every walks of life, from attorneys to just people coming off the street that, hey, I've saved a little bit of money. I want to do something that's different and exciting. I've got to go down to Cigar Week. Something I could write off on my taxes or something like that. So
Mm,
they're more able to do something like that with the smaller planes. Now the bigger jets, they're obviously a lot more expensive,
yeah,
because there's a lot of things that cost as far as the plane, fuel,
yeah,
pilot, all of that goes into it.
yeah,
But
absolutely.
we try to skinny it down to make it affordable for everybody.
And I can dig that.
Yeah,
I can dig that because you know, exposure is the biggest thing, right?
sure.
If we can expose you to it, then you can use it the way it's supposed to be used. So like I love what you're doing.
Thank you.
So Jason, I also heard that you guys offer tours of Dallas,
We do, yeah.
right? What does that look like?
So with some of our smaller planes, like a three-seater or we have a six-seater that you can get into, and we'll do a low fly around downtown Dallas,
Oh wow.
and you can see all the city lights. So it's something that you could do for your anniversary, for like a date if you're trying to impress somebody.
Mm,
And some other things that we're trying to do is partnership with some of the local restaurants here in the the Addison area,
mm-hmm.
to where you could go do a dinner and then you could come over here and do a flight.
Yeah,
And that consists of about an hour.
yeah,
And so we can do one or two laps around the city. You can get a lot of pictures, and it's a pretty surreal experience to be able to get down low and fly around the city like that.
man, that's dope. That's dope. How can we connect with you? How can we book with you?
Well, one of our missions is to let people know that aviation can be affordable, especially private aviation. Just people don't know because they just automatically think that it's very expensive. So one of the things that they can do to get a hold of us to book flights and things like that, and to get more information, is to go to our website. So our website's www.good, that's GOOD, old aviation.com, goodoldAviation.com.
GoodOldAviation.com.
Yep.
Guys, go check that out. GoodOldAviation.com. Um, Private versus commercial. You're not having to share um, seats with strangers. You're not having to deal with annoying kids that aren't yours. Now, the other side of that is you are dealing with kids that are yours, but you're choosing to. So link up with Good Old Aviation. They're gonna get you right for all your private flights, family vacations, the works. So, man, thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you for having me here,
for
brother.
sure. Thanks for allowing me to be on your podcast.
Absolutely. Now, guys, check out Boss Talks on the Rooftop on YouTube. Like, subscribe. Okay. Guys, check out Boss Talks on the Rooftop. Like, subscribe, share the channel. And remember, storms don't last, but your home should. Peace. Two fingers.